The night it happened, I was standing in my dim kitchen surrounded by half-washed dishes, cold leftovers, and the quiet ache of a life lived on autopilot, when a message lit up my phone, a message that would pull me into a world I never expected, a world where my heart would wake up again. It was from Maya, my son's friend's mom, a woman whose smile always lingered a second too long, whose eyes held a warmth I didn't know I'd been craving. And in that moment, trembling and lost between loneliness and curiosity, I realized my life was about to change. Red heart, if you believe in kindness, healing, and second chances, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to channel name. Your support means everything. Red heart, I didn't always feel this empty. Years ago, I was a wife, a mother, a woman who believed she had her future safely mapped. But time chipped at the walls I built around myself. My marriage dissolved not in rage, but in exhaustion, silent dinners, mismatched dreams, long months where love felt more like a memory than a presence. After the divorce, I poured myself into work, into my son, into holding the household together alone. I told myself I was fine. I told myself I didn't need anything more. But inside, spaces were hollowing out. Then came Maya. We'd met casually at school events, exchanged polite smiles at pickup time. She was warm, confident, effortlessly put together in a way that made you feel safe just standing near her. But it wasn't until one afternoon, when she came to drop off her son after group study, that I noticed something shift. She complimented the flowers on my windowsill, her hand brushing mine with a softness so intentional it made heat bloom in my chest. I shook it off as friendliness, a simple gesture. But over the next weeks, the gestures kept coming, her eyes lingering, her laughter too gentle, her texts too thoughtful. I tried to ignore the fluttering inside me. I was a single mom. I had responsibilities. I had never even thought about women that way. But Maya had a way of seeing me, really seeing me, and that was something I hadn't felt in years. One rainy evening, she invited me for coffee. I told myself it was harmless, just two mothers bonding. But when I walked into her cozy living room, lit only by warm lamps and the soft patter of raindrops against the windows, something in the air felt different. She moved closer to me with a confidence I didn't have, and when she touched my hand, I felt a pull, gentle, unexpected, but powerful enough to make me catch my breath. I left her home that evening confused and shaken, replaying every moment in my head. It wasn't wrong, but it wasn't familiar. It was new, tender, and terrifying. Over the next weeks, she became the voice I looked forward to, the message that made my mornings lighter, the reason I smiled at my phone. But with every deepening connection came fear. What would people say? What would my son think? And most of all, who was I becoming? The world I knew had been built on rules, expectations, labels, but she was gently breaking them one by one, showing me a doorway to something I never knew I needed. The night everything changed, my son was at a sleepover, and the house felt too quiet. Maya texted me, asking if she could come over just to talk. I hesitated, but loneliness has a way of eroding resistance, and so I said yes. When she arrived, she didn't knock, she simply walked in with her soft smile and sat beside me on the couch. We talked about motherhood, heartbreak, the weight of pretending to be strong. And then she said something that felt like a soft earthquake inside me: you deserve to be seen. You deserve to feel alive. It was the first time anyone had said that to me in years. I felt tears spill before I could stop them. All the exhaustion, all the loneliness, all the forgotten pieces of me cracked open. She held my hand, not possessively, not intrusively, just gently, like she was offering a home for the parts of me that had been wandering. And in that delicate moment, I understood something with surprising clarity. I wasn't falling for a woman. I was falling for the kindness I'd been starved of, for the emotional safety I had long forgotten could exist. It wasn't about labels. It was about connection, raw, honest, healing connection. But life is never gentle with new beginnings. Rumors started when she visited more often. The judgmental glances from neighbors, the whispers at school, the subtle distance from people who once chatted freely, it all built pressure around us. I tried to pull away to protect her, to protect my son, to protect myself. But she never once asked me to choose between my world and hers. She simply stayed, patient and steady, reminding me that love, any love, deserves courage. The real turning point came unexpectedly. One evening, my son walked into the living room where Maya and I were quietly talking. I braced myself for discomfort or confusion, but he simply looked at us with his bright, understanding eyes, smiled, and said, "Mom, you look happy."